numbers and numerology, but study numerology, right? Study these things, study these sciences that will help you to unfold into yourself, help you to become more of yourself. Um, there's so many sciences out there that you can study that come from our forefathers, that came from our ancient civilizations, and they're from on high, right? That means that they came down from a higher, they are, it means that they help to raise you up to a higher state, right? A higher state of mind. Because the Moorish Science Temple America is all about having a state of mind, a state of mind that is in tune with yourself. So if you have a state of mind that is in tune with yourself, that is in tune with the law, then you are being your highest self, right? You're living on your highest plane. Certain things that could drag you down before when you were living in your lower self now have no effect on you. You are being yourself. You're being in tune with Allah. And this is all that Allah asks of you, right? This is all. And then when you're in tune with Allah and you're being your highest self and you're having spirits like gratitude and virtues like humility, right? Then you can reap the blessings of Allah, right? You can reap the abundance, and not just abundance physically or physically, I mean abundance spiritually, right? Having peace, having love, having everything that it is about being a Moorish American, having that and embodying that, right? Having the truth, knowing the truth, being the truth, right? You have the truth. Nobody can lie to you, right? Nobody can trick you. Nobody could, take you off your course because you have the truth. You walk in the path of the prophet. You keep on walking the path, then you know that your destination is sure. You know where you're going, right? So the destiny and destination of the prophet is not unknown, right? It's salvation, right? Allah, unity, It says that at the top of the divine constitution and bylaws. Why does it say that at the top of that? Why are these words on the front of the circle 7, in front of the 101, right? Why? You need to ask yourself questions. You can't learn and know yourself without critically thinking, without asking yourself questions. Why am I this way? Why is this way? What choice did I make to end up here? What choice did I make that landed me this judgment? This judgment that seems pretty harsh. How can I come out of this judgment, right? How can I move forward with my life in a way that is meaningful? What can I do to better myself, to better my children and our future and our posterity as a people, right? What can I do, right? How can I attain prosperity, right? You have to study yourself. You have to study your spirit. You have to study yourself from on high first, and then you can manifest it on the ground, right? As a people, we have to realize spiritually, that this is a war, this is a battleground. Everything is, vying for your attention. I want your attention over here, and I want your attention over here, but what does your attention really need to be on? It needs to be on knowledge, right? It needs to be on the knowledge of the study of self, the knowledge of the higher self, of the lower self. You need to keep your mind and heart on knowledge so that you could bring yourself up, so you can learn how to manifest, right? So you can learn how to have spirituality and really be spiritual, and not for it to just be a word on your tongue, right? For it to actually have meaning, actually be deeply rooted in you. So deeply rooted that nothing's going to take you off of it. Right? So we're talking about on high and on low. So on high and on low. If you have love is on high, right? So what is the lower form of love? What is it? Wouldn't it be lust, right? Carnal lust. They call it carnal love, but it's really lust, right? So if you have love that is on high, and we know that spirit, everything that's physical starts off in the spiritual realm, right? We have the 3 planes of manifest. We have spirit, soul, and physical. So how everything comes to the plane of manifest is it starts off as a spirit, right? And it comes down and manifests into physical. So if you have love, then the physical manifestation of that would be carnal love, right? Lust. But if you have lust, right, but you don't have that divine love, then there's no balance in that, right? That's something that is built on a rocky foundation. Something that's built on sand. It's not built on a solid rock, a solid foundation. So you're not going to grow from it. Versus if you have love, right? Self-love. You know yourself. You study self. You're kind. You care about everybody. You're respectful. That's all love is. Love is an action. So many times are we taught that love is a feeling, a carnal feeling. And that is true. Love in its lower sense, love in its lower nature is a carnal feeling. But on high, it's action. And those actions include kindness, care, and respect, right? Kindness, care, and respect towards yourself, towards others, etc. So love is what it is on high, versus on low, it's more of a feeling, it's more of a carnal nature. So if you have the two and they go hand in hand, that's balance, right? That's justice, right? You have the love on high, then you need the love on low, right? The real, and this is real love. But if you have lust, right, without that divine love, then what do you have? To me, it's like you have nothing, right? That's something that's temporary. Something that's real temporary, real shaky, it's going to go away. So love is an action. It is not a feeling. It is an action. And so when you manifest from the spirit plane down, that's how you build, right? You manifest the spirit first, and then you build on the ground. So it's one thing, right, if I dress like this, but I'm just a horrible person, right? I'm just the meanest, nastiest person ever. Then that is like ass backwards, right? That's backwards. But if I really have the spirit of everything that and I'm symbolizing everything that the culture symbolizes, right? Then that's peace, that's love, that's blessings. That's true manifestation, right? So that's the point, is that you can have lust, right? And this is a carnal form of love. And then you try to go to the love after that. It's like you building backwards. You're building from the ground up, right? And I always think about the banyan tree, because the banyan tree is that tree that starts off, the seeds start in the ground. And the roots go to the seeds start in the air and they grow to the ground. If you don't know what the banyan tree is, look it up. And to me, that is so symbolic of how we build, right? The tree of life, right? Kabbalah. That is something that you can also study, right? To get into the knowledge of yourself, getting higher self, lower self, right? The Kabbalah in the tree has a tree of life in it. And in the tree of life, there's many sephras, right? And people look at this, and you can analyze it any way. You can look at it as a ladder. You can look at it as a body, okay? Because at the top of the tree is Kether, ether, right? At the bottom of the tree is kingdom, or Malkut. So you can study the tree of life and read Kabbalah. Read it. Get the Kabbalah, read it, and see how it relates to you. See if it helps you in the study of self, right? Read that. Other books I can mention are the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching, it is another book that you can also use to study self, right? You can also read the Aquarian Gospel, The Aquarian Gospel is where some of these chapters originate, right? The story of Jesus. So the prophet said, imitate I, the prophet, be like me. And the prophet is Jesus come again. And so basically what he's saying is, study how I am. Study how I was. Study me in previous lifetimes, right? So if you read the Aquarian Gospel, and this is telling about the life of Jesus, right? From when he was born, a babe in Bethlehem, all the way up into his crucifixion. They're telling this story, and you're learning about him from beginning to end. There should be a lot of chapters in there that you can use to study self, right? Right, and all the chambers he went through, right? The out of chambers he went through. And see how that correlates to the study of self. You can also read Unto Thee I Grant, which is where another half of these chapters come from in the Holy Quran, Circle 7. Unto Thee I Grant. And in there, you'll find these same chapters, well, some of them, and also additional chapters, and read them. See how they correlate to the study itself. See how you can use that knowledge and turn it into wisdom, right? Because knowledge will only take you so far. It'll perish in the grave, right? But wisdom is when you take that knowledge and you use it and you apply it, right? It's action. You're going to take that, okay? You're going to take that and apply it to self, right? It's a verb, so that means it's something that's active. It's an action. And apply it. And once you apply that once you apply that knowledge and you become that knowledge, that's when it's now wisdom. And wisdom goes far beyond the grave, right? It's something that will last you literally forever. Right. Okay, so the Moorish Science, when it comes to being a Moorish American, we are active on the path. We are not passive. We don't sit down and be stagnant and let life just pass us by and let things just flow. What we do is we are active. We actively seek in every way, every hall, every way of learning, to learn the most that we can about ourselves, right? If we can learn how to love ourselves, right, in a form of self-love, we will learn easily how to love each other, right? If you love yourself, loving yourself doesn't mean taking a selfie, looking cute, going to a fancy restaurant, dressing up. What it means is taking care of yourself, right? Learning about yourself, learning about your higher self and lower self, knowing Allah, right? Learning how to operate within a community, right? The Holy Quran of Muhammad, of Mecca, it provides the customs and actions of all Muslims worldwide. So what this means is in there you will also find instructions for how to act as a community and how to treat one another, right? You will also find in there the stories of Jesus, of our great fathers and our great mothers, right? You will find history lessons in there. You will find so much stuff, because to know yourself, you have to know your history. You know, the line of people that you've descended from, your own personal history, and the Islam University. The history of our people as a collective, right? And this is the true knowledge. This is the true study of self, true study of the universe, right? In a university, you should be studying about the universe, right? This is the true study of self, the true university, the higher knowledge, right? The true higher knowledge. Because like Brother Marcus Garvey said, the forerunner of the prophet said, he said the best education is a self-taught education, right? So many things that you cannot learn in school, right? It's so limited. But in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we're here to provide you with higher learning. And you can study anything, right? And be guided in anything. You'll learn how to guide yourself in any study that you seek, right? And if you ever need advice, or you ever get stuck in your learning, or you ever have a question, then you have people here to help you out, you know? And in a community, we should all help each other out. And when you come into the Moorish Science Temple of America, you see that there is a community. You see how we interact and how we're all connected and how we all help each other learn and how we all draw together. We are all constantly learning. And that's what the Moorish Science Temple is about, to provide you that community that you need to develop yourself, to develop your innermost self, and to bring out your higher qualities, right? To bring out the 5 highest principles known to man, to learn how to study, to learn how to turn knowledge into wisdom, to learn about your history and your past, okay, to learn how we're going to move forward together in unity. We can't expect to move forward together in unity if you're not a part of it. Don't expect to move forward in unity and with our people and as a community if you are not yourself a part of it. If you have not proclaimed your nationality and you are not actively a Moorish American, you will not grow with us. But if you are, look forward to growing, because we will be growing in these next couple of years. Okay, we will always be growing. That's the thing about Moorish sciences. There's no graduation. Whereas, in other schools, they might say, oh, graduation, you're done. There's no more to learn. But here it's like we can always be learning, right? Because Moorish Science Temple of America is a school of thought, right? It teaches you how to think, how to study self, and how to love yourself. So with that being said, please rotate on thought about how you can practice the holy day better, what you can do to really, show reverence for the holy day. Show reverence for yourself, right? To really show reverence to Allah and praise Allah. He wouldn't have put this holy day on you. He wouldn't have put the prophet and placed the prophet right here in the land of North America. He wouldn't have placed them here if we didn't need it, right? If he didn't need to come. So the thing is that people who have been heavily afflicted, by losing their spirituality and stuff like that in the state of slavery, they had to be reminded. They had to be retaught, right? They had to be brought up again. And so the prophet cannot expect to just magically bring you back up again, right? It's not about magically bringing, a wave of a wand and then it's done. You have to save yourself. So you have to be actively studying yourself, actively studying the sciences, actively being yourself, right? Not letting anything hold you back. So many times other people will even try to hold you back. You can't let anything hold you back, because when the day that is sure to come comes, you can't say, well, so-and-so hold me back, so I didn't do this, and I didn't study self, and I didn't love myself, and so I messed up, and no. It's like, no, you know better because the word is coming to you, so do better. That's all that it takes, is doing your very best. The prophet doesn't say change your whole personality. The prophet doesn't say change who you are. The prophet said, here, I bring this to you, add to yourself, right? Add to yourself the beautiful things, right? And let go of some of those things, some of those passions and desires, right? But to be just, thou must hear without thy passions. So you must draw a circle around your passions and your desires. You can't let them affect you. You can't let them affect your study of self. If your passions and desires are rooted in naught, get rid of them. Use the axe, right? Another tool in the workshop of the mind. Use the axe. Cut out the naughty and ungainly, the useless parts, right, of yourself. Do away with them, right? And keep yourself centered in the study of self, If you're new to the Moorish Science Temple of America, you haven't really been able to practice it because we don't have a place where we can all meet up at this time, then guess what? You're going to have to be centered in the study of self every day. Pick up that Circle 7 and that 101 and read it every day. Practice memorizing some of the 101 keys. Use that hammer steadily every day. Every day. And when you finish with that, when you've got a good hold of that, then you move on to the Holy Quran Circle 7. The Holy Quran of Muhammad of Mecca, right? Because we got to teach ourselves. We got to go back in history. We got to start right here, use these keys, and then go unlock all the books. Go unlock the Kabbalah, the Bible, and the Quran of Mecca, right? Quran of Mecca, Quran of Muhammad. You go and unlock that next. Okay, so yes, please keep that in mind, the holy day and what it's for. And as a Moorish American, and if you're thinking about proclaiming your nationality, or you're nearly ready, then, or if you've already committed yourself to this, then you need to practice the holy day and reverence it for what it is. And learn how to, because Moorish Science Temple America is all about learning. You don't know. Don't take this like with the fence in the sense of, oh, well, this, that, the other. Just say, you know what? I'm learning. I'm going to try my best. And sometimes when you try your best, when you're learning, you still mess up. But those mess ups are going to help you to learn it better, right? You learn something for the first time and you're new at it. It's going to be difficult and you're going to mess up. And you might even look silly sometimes, right? Learning how to do something. But the thing is you keep on trying, you keep on, so what? You're going to mess up. So what? Who cares? As long as you keep trying and keep trying, you're going to get it right. You're going to master it. You're going to be, unstoppable in the study of self, right? So keep going. Always. Stay active on the path, Islam. October 17th, 1928. A warning from the Prophet to be read in every meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must put an end to all radical and agitating speech, while in their jobs, homes, or on the public street. We advocate peace and not destruction. Stop trying out your cards with the Europeans, for it causes confusion. There has been much confusion caused by members trying out their cards. The cards are for your salvation. Failure of obeying my orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members that seek to hold malicious feeling toward the Prophet, Islam, the temple, or the Prophet, or to violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive the reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors must obey the laws laid down to them by their Prophet, and if they lose confidence in their Prophet, give up your card and button, cease wearing your turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the Prophet, found you. For this is a holy and divine movement, founded by the Prophet Noble Jolly. And if the Prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The Prophet is sending out a divine plea to all true Moorish Americans that they may do their part in protecting their Prophet in the temple. This is an everlasting movement, founded by the Prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Peace, Noble Jolly. October 28th, 1928. To be proclaimed in every meeting, Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people on our side of the nation that claim that it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so that they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your Prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the Prophet, being head, as has been proven by my works which I have performed in the past few years. Islam. All rise and face the east. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy Prophet, Noble Jolly. Amen. Islam.